Okay. Hello, Parker. Welcome to the second attempt at the live stream. We tried a couple seconds ago. There was a problem that I fixed really quick. It was a really quick and easy fix. So we got that up. But yeah, we're going to talk about this rumors about Star Wars being remade, apparently. Um, I will get into it once I tweet, once we get some more people here. Potentially rant. Yes. So, yes, Star Wars rumor. There are rumors. I really don't know how true they are. Rumors are rumors. I doubt this will happen, but there are rumors that they might redo the sequels. Now, I really don't think they will because it's a big risk. Big risk. You would turn away the new fans who are fans because of the sequels. Number two, you would upset a lot of people outside of the new fans, but like people who are fans of the actors, actresses, um, the Disney Star Wars fans, obviously. But it would hurt the Star Wars name, in my opinion, if you redo all the sequels. Because, it's like, oh, just because people didn't like the movie, let's redo this whole thing. I think that's a negative look on Star Wars and Disney. So that would hurt it. So I don't think they'll do that. But I do want to share some of my thoughts on if they were to do it, what I would want. Yeah, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I think episode 7 was a pretty dang good setup movie for a trilogy. You establish who the characters are, you establish what they're about to be, you give them a ton of potential. You got a storyline, you got attachments to all these characters, you got a little bit of a backstory of where they're from, all that stuff, what they've done. And that's a good setup movie. You don't know what's going to happen. It's not a cliffhanger, but it sets up for something more. And then The Last Jedi happened, and I appreciate that Rian Johnson was willing to take some risks, but oh man, poorly executed risks, in my opinion. Um, should have been Admiral Akbar sacrificing himself. Rose, her existence, just the no, please no. What else? Luke, they just completely changed Luke's character. Luke convinced one of the most evil dudes in the history of the galaxy, Darth Vader, to turn back to the light. And then his nephew has a bad dream, and Luke's all like, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm like, why? That makes no sense. All right, we're gonna read this comment real quick from Parker. It would seem dumb to redo the sequels. Big risk for upsetting people, and it would hurt timeline for the series and the characters. Yes, someone brought up a good point though. In Star Wars Rebels, they what did they do? They made like time travel for Star Wars. You go in this little force tunnel, right? And you can see everything. You can see. So this is like at the beginning of the Empire, or no, not the beginning, but the beginning of the Rebellion, the Galactic Civil War, right? And so you can go back to the prequels. You could theoretically go back to when Anakin is about to slice Mace Windu's hand off, and you can pull Anakin out. Because what we see in Rebels is Ahsoka fighting Vader, and Ezra goes in, pulls Ahsoka out, and she doesn't get killed by Vader. Which means, in theory, you could go back to Anakin betraying Mace Windu and falling to the dark side and pull him out. Or you could, I don't know, jump in there and stab Palpatine in the face or something. I don't know. But that's what they could do. They could say, they could intro the new movie, which I doubt they're going to do. And they could intro it with someone walking in, going through the little time tunnel space, time travel, grab someone out of there, or do something, jump in, change something. I don't know. You see, this is why I don't like time travel in movies. It complicates everything. It creates too many loopholes. That's why I don't like it. It was a cool episode of Rebels, but I don't like that they added that because it just complicates everything. But anyways, what I would do if I was recreating the sequels would be First of all, I would keep 7, honestly, because 7, while it's not the best Star Wars movie, it is still a decent movie, and it's a good setup movie for the future. Um, it's just a good setup movie, I think, for the trilogy. You establish the characters. Rey's going to be the Jedi. You set up that. You set up what Finn. He left the First Order to become a rebel or a resistance person because he feels he's got to do what's right. You establish Poe as the military dude or the whatever. Um, Han Solo gets killed. I mean, it sucks, but yeah, I'm fine with that. Kylo Ren you establish as the main villain. He's conflicted, but he goes bad. You got Snoke as the big bad guy who we don't know much about. Do you remember when Return of the Jedi came out? We knew nothing about Palpatine. I mean, I wasn't born yet, but you didn't see people begging for his. I mean, you might have, but people weren't begging for his backstory. Who was Palpatine? You didn't see a bunch of people saying that. So yeah, Snoke, you could do a lot of things with him. You could do a lot of things with Kylo from that point. There's so many things you could do. I think something that would have been really interesting for them to do would be one thing that's interesting is that Ahsoka was never in the prequels, even though she was in the Clone Wars. She was in Rebels, and what we saw, yeah, that was just writing because Clone Wars came out in 2008 or something, the movie, and then the show went through 2014, came back this year. Yeah, so that was, and it was all in between 2 and 3, with the exception of this past season, which was during episode 3. But they were far away, so it's fine. But that's what makes it interesting. Is like during this whole time, could Ahsoka have theoretically just showed up to Palpatine's house and been like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Shing, slice his head off, and then bam, we don't need the sequels or something. But yeah. Anyways, where was I? Something. Yeah. Okay, right. Something that would have been really interesting, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, would be that you switch them. So you want a new idea for Star Wars, right? Ryan Johnson wanted something new. He wanted to try something new. Well, how about this? You flip everything. So you have Rey go confront Kylo, and when she confronts Kylo, Snoke tempts her to the dark side. She goes to the dark side, and in the process of all this, Kylo Ren feels bad for killing his dad. And Kylo Ren then all of a sudden says, "You know what? Screw it. I'm going back to my mom and the rebellion or the resistance, whatever it's called." He goes back. So he goes from being bad, trying to convince Rey to be bad. Rey becomes bad, and then he flips and goes good, and then they end up fighting each other. So you got Snoke and Rey versus Kylo and, like, let's say Finn becomes a Jedi, because here's what frustrated me a bunch. Finn's character arc had so much potential, guys. Like, it's absolutely insane how much potential his character had. You had a stormtrooper turn resistance dude who, in the movie trailers and in all the posters and stuff, we thought was going to be the Jedi. They show him with the lightsaber, that we show him fighting TR-8R in the battlefield, but then they're like, yeah, you just go stand in the corner over there and shoot some stuff every once in a while. Like, and John Boyega is not a bad actor. Like, what we saw, he was not a bad actor, but they just did nothing with his character. They could have done so much with his character. So I think that would have been interesting to flip flop Kylo Ren and Rey, and you put Rey on the dark side with Snoke. Snoke doesn't necessarily have to be Palpatine. I mean, Palpatine coming back, I think that's very possible because we see it in Legends and stuff. Like, he clones himself. But I think the execution of it in 9 was just not that good. Like, I've rewatched 9 and 8 a bunch, and the more I rewatch them, they get worse. Yeah, so I think that it could have been a lot better. Don't get me, or that's an easy, but what was I saying? I keep on doing this brain fart stuff. But anyways, Snoke can be his own thing. He can be someone else that we don't know, that we try to explain. He could be Yariel Poof that we see in episode 1. He could be Yaddle. He could be Rebel Friend from Lego Star Wars. We don't know who he could be. He could be just his own thing. He could be someone else. You can do whatever you want with Snoke, but I think him and Rey versus Kylo and Finn. Kylo Ren becomes Ben Solo again, trains Finn, and they fight each other. Like, you set that up for episode 9. Like, They go back. You end 8 with some, however you want to end 8. Luke dying if you want to, with sacrificing himself, however you want to do it. Or heck, Luke can train Finn, whatever. And you get 2-on-2 Jedi, 2 Jedi, 2 Sith, duke it out for episode 9. While you got a war going on behind you, you got Leia leading the Resistance, and you got, I guess, General Hux or General Pride, whoever you want, fighting each other. So you got a war, like a galactic civil war, part 2. And then at the same time, you got 2 Jedi and 2 Sith fighting for the balance of the Force. And here's what I think should have happened. There have been a lot of fan edits of Anakin doing what Rey did in episode 9. I think you got to do that. So, like, you bring Palpatine back. Let's say Snoke is Palpatine. They kill Rey, or they somehow disarm Rey. They cut her arm off, like literally disarm her. They knock her out, whatever. She's irrelevant in the fight, like 5 minutes into the fight. And then Palpatine takes down Finn and Kylo, or Ben, whatever you want to call him. You take them down, and Palpatine is about to kill him. Anakin's Force Ghost shows up, because now that we know that, Luke's Force Ghost in episode 9, he was just like, he caught a lightsaber like this, like easy, If he can do that, Anakin can do that. I think Anakin shows up, beats Palpatine. Anakin brings balance, completes or fulfills the prophecy. Everyone's happy, right? Yeah. So I think Anakin's got to fulfill the prophecy, right? You can go with a new idea, but I want to see him flip-flopped. Yeah, that's just a general of what I want to see. But I doubt it'll happen. There have also been rumors that they're just going to redo 8 and 9, because the thing about 8 was that it was so just not Star Wars that it bothered so many people. But then there were the people who only loved the sequels, and they loved it, and they're bothered by the prequels and other movies. And it's just so much. It's the most divisive movie in the Star Wars saga. I don't think that's a question. I think you redo 8 and 9. I think you keep 7 the same. If they're like genuinely going through with this, I doubt they are. But if they were, I think you keep 7 the same. You bring on new writers for 8 and 9, though. You can keep the same characters, bring back the same actors. I know, like, some of the actors, like, they got so much crap for this that they just don't want to come back. I think, like, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver don't want to come back. I don't blame them. Star Wars fans suck sometimes. But I think you can do the same characters. I think you just got to come up with a new story that makes all fans happy, which is really hard, but I'd say the majority happy. You can't get all millions of fans happy, but you got to get a good chunk of them happy. Like, that's the problem with 9. I like 9 more than 8 because 9 never had a chance to be a good movie, because 8 messed so many things up, and 9, was trying to fix those pieces, put those pieces back together. It was like the whole focus of 9 was to undo 8, that was just so stupid in my opinion. Like, I understand that it was a problem, but it's whatever. Let's read some comments. We also never found out who Palpatine's father was. Also, Palpatine had a wife that was never talked about. Okay, so as for that, so here's why I didn't like Disney and their little novelization of the book started to explain things. And I'm fine with explanations, but their explanation for Rey's dad was so bad. They described him as, who was it? It was Palpatine's clone's daughter. So Palpatine had a clone. This clone decided to go rogue and had a daughter, Rey. So how does that make that Palpatine's granddaughter? Does that mean if Boba Fett has a child, it's technically Jango's grandchild? Like, I don't understand how the biology works there. So you have a clone. That clone goes on to have a child. How does that make that your grandchild? It's like my grandparents had my dad, and my dad had me. I'm a grandchild because the little tree, the tree diagram that they give you, your family tree, but that doesn't work. Like, Palpatine didn't have a clone or a child. He had a clone, which, is it the same thing? And then they said it's a grandchild, and I don't see that. Hello, Stone Racing. How are you doing today? What other movies are your favorites? Star Wars is definitely the favorite franchise. My favorite movie ever is Inglourious Basterds. That's a good movie. Other franchises I enjoy: Indiana Jones. I got a hat in there. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna wear that hat now. Fast and Furious. I mean, I like a lot of movies. I just enjoy a really good movie, but a good movie. I enjoy a good movie, and yeah. Oh yeah, Back to the Future. Those are good, but they're not like my favorites, I would say. Yeah, I have not worn this hat in a while. It's getting a little small for me. Yeah, there we go. I can't tell if it's straight, but you know what? Good enough for me. Hello, JPS Racing 74. How you doing? Pirates of the Caribbean. I've only seen one of those movies. I think they got good music though. Speaking of music, dude, if they remake the movies and they can't get John Williams, John Williams is 89 years old or something, or 88 or 89 years old. So he's retired. He's retiring now after Indiana Jones 5, I think. They need to get the dudes who did the Rogue One music. That was freaking amazing. Your Father Would Be Proud, Hope, the Hope Suite, the Imperial Suite, all amazing music. Like, they knocked that out of the park. And he only did it in like 1 month, too, which is pretty dang impressive out of what I've heard. So, yeah, they need to get Michael Giacchino back if they do remake some of these movies or do more Star Wars movies in the future. When is that coming out and who's playing it? Harrison Ford's coming back. Yeah, I guess let's just make this a movie questionnaire now that I've discussed my theories and what I want, and that it's probably not going to happen. Let's talk about movies. Let's just talk. I love talking about movies. It's something I love doing, talking about good movies, and I don't really like talking about bad movies. But Indiana Jones 5, Harrison Ford is playing Indiana Jones, but it's been pushed back like 3 times. It was supposed to come back in 2019, then they pressed it to 2020, then they pressed it to 2021. So, and it's not like because of the Rona or anything. It's because like they've had different opinions with writers. They've had different opinions with producers, and it's just become a whole mess that I really don't know. But Indiana Jones is the only confirmed cast. Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones, sorry. Spielberg, I think, is directing it. He directed the first 4, I believe. No, I'm wrong. The director will be James Mangold. The writers will be Jonathan Kasdan, Philip Kaufman, David Coep will do the screenplay, and then obviously George Lucas was part of the making of the character, so he'll get credit for that, just like he did for Star Wars. I've also heard a rumor that apparently George Lucas wants to create his own sequel trilogy. I don't know if he would do that through Disney or through a different company, but could you imagine if he made his own sequel trilogy? Like, because he sold Disney or Star Wars to Disney. Imagine if he got permission to make a sequel trilogy and got that permission and made a better sequel trilogy than Disney. That would be hilarious. That's my problem with the sequels. Like, how hard is it to get you have 3 different writers for the movies at first. Trevorrow, Johnson, and Abrams. How hard is it to sit them down and write a sequel or a trilogy? Like, they did it 1 movie at a time, and I think that was a problem. You got to write down a plan, or you have to have one guy with that plan. I've heard that many movies have been pushed back due to the Rona. Yeah, Rona's pushed back a ton of movies. Black Widow, Fast and Furious 9, other numerous movies. Let's see. Harrison Ford seems too old now. Yeah. The thing about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I still thought it was a good movie, but it wasn't anywhere close to the first 3. Like, my favorite is The Last Crusade. Second favorite Raiders of the Lost Ark. 3, Temple of Doom. Like, I loved all 3 of those movies. All 3 of those are above a 9 on 10 on my scale. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was a good movie still. But the problem I had with it was that it was about aliens. Indiana Jones should not be about aliens. Like, that was just jumping the shark to an extreme. Like, the first movie, we see archaeology. We see the, what's it called? The Ark of the Covenant. That is an archaeological thing. That's what an archaeologist would look for. Episode 2, Temple of Doom. We see Indiana Jones go to India, and he goes looking for the Sankara stones or whatever they're called, and he finds a cult, underground cult, That sounds pretty historic, archaeological to me. And then you see The Last Crusade, which is finding the Holy Grail. Same thing as the first one. That's pretty archaeological to me. And then the fourth one is about finding some alien skull and calling the aliens. I mean, yeah, I guess that's archaeological, but it's pretty irrelevant to the to Indiana Jones, in my opinion. Last Crusade is my favorite too. Very good movie. Sean Connery was an excellent actor to play Indiana Jones's father. Let's see who else was in that. The villain, you had Elsa or Elisa. What's her name? Elisa or Elsa? Turning bad, being a Nazi spy. That was interesting. The score was amazing by Williams, of course. What else about that movie? Yeah. What are some of your guys' favorite movies, like of all time? Like, or just like an underrated movie? Like, I could go through my IMDb ratings right here and tell you some dang good movies. Yeah, I want to see a lot of these movies. Stone Racing said Ferris Bueller's Day Off, School of Rock. I want to see a lot of these movies I wasn't around for to see in theaters, to see in the theaters. Like, there's a few movie theaters opening up as of now that are reopening, and they're just going to show like old classics. And one of them is going to be Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I really want to see some of these movies, like the first 6 Star Wars I haven't seen in the movies, the first 3 Indiana Jones movies. What else? Just movies that I've seen a ton that I haven't seen in theaters. I would love to see. So like 80s movies, 90s movies, 70s movies. I would love to see. Just genuine good movies. So once that reopens and it's official, I'm gonna go see Raiders of the Lost Ark. Let you guys know about how awesome that was potentially. Let's see. How many of the Batman movies have you seen? I've seen the Dark Knight trilogy. I haven't seen any of the old ones. That's not true. I saw one of the old ones. It was the one with Jack. Oh shoot! I always get the golfer and the actor confused. Jack Nicholas or Jack Nicholson? Hold on. IMDb search. Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. I saw the one with him as the Joker. It was good, but the Dark. I think Heath Ledger was better as the Joker. Yeah. So let's go through some of my ratings. Star Wars Rebels. Oh God. One of these days, I'm gonna release that. I'm gonna make my review, and it's gonna be long and ranty. Spielberg movie, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Let me tell you something about this movie. It's not like a big time action movie, a big time drama movie, but it's a good movie. I didn't know what to expect going into it. It's from 1977 and it's about aliens. I really didn't know what to expect with this. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Like, it had so many different elements and it was somewhat realistic. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It was a good movie. Spielberg movie. I genuinely enjoyed that. So I will write that in the comments in case you want to go check it out. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Good movie. Like, trust me on this one. Pretty dang good movie. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Man, if they remade the sequels, I actually might be a little bit happy because I was a little frustrated with 8 and 9. I could go off about that again, but you know what? I'll save my energy. Been watching a lot of movies since I've been home, obviously. Some other movies. I'm just looking for some. We're getting to my Clone Wars ratings when I just voted all the episodes. Edge of Tomorrow. I remember that one. I don't remember liking it. I thought it was too repetitive. Because isn't that the one with Tom Cruise and he keeps on dying over and over and he keeps on going back? It was like Groundhog Day or something, but for Tom Cruise in an action movie. Yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that one. Office Space is a funny movie. Like it's so not explainable at the same time. It's so explainable. It's so Jennifer Aniston's in it. That's the big name. It's a good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Office Space. Go check that one out. Yeah, I'm just gonna type out the ones whenever I talk about it and recommend. I'm a big movie fan, guys. I love watching movies and TV shows. TV shows are good too. Anytime I can be lazy, mainly. I'll tell you what's a disappointing movie series, and that is the recent the DC movies that aren't the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman vs Superman, Justice League, very disappointing movies. Very. Justice League, I don't even want to talk about. Let's see. Any Tarantino movie is good. Ford versus Ferrari is a good movie. I'll tell you a movie I was disappointed with. Uncut Gems. That was. I enjoyed the ending of it. I like a nice twist ending. But man, it's just Adam Sandler screaming a bunch. And it was just annoying. It's like, can you calm down for a minute or something? I thought Sandler did a good job acting, but I just didn't like all the screaming. NASCAR, if that counts, yeah, sure. I think you could, if IMDb is the official source, then yeah, because it's like NASCAR on TNT, NASCAR on ESPN, NASCAR on NBC. You can all rate those on this IMDb. Arrival with Amy Adams and Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner. That movie makes you think, and it's like it's about aliens, but it's not like a war movie about aliens. I don't know how to describe this. It's such a good movie. It makes you think, and at the end of the movie, if you're able to figure it out at the end of the movie what was going on, like the whole story and stuff, it blows your mind and you enjoy it like 5 times more. But it's one of those movies that you have to watch it the first time, and if you understand it the first time, then the next time you watch it, it's not as good because you don't have that big surprise element. So it's one of those movies that if you watch it once and you figure it out, it's a really good movie, but it's not one of those movies you can watch over and over and over again. It's still a really good movie, don't get me wrong, but once you figure it out, it's like, oh, I know what's going to happen. I know what this all means, blah, 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 blah. But it's a really, really good movie. It really is. So Arrival with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. Really good movie. Arrival starring Renner. Jim Carrey movies are also pretty good. Yeah, I like his Ace Ventura movies. Those are good. Good movie. Superbad is a good comedy. It's really weird, but it's good. Tarantino, more Tarantino. Endgame's overrated, guys. Hate to break it to you. Endgame is overrated. The time travel, I'm not a big fan of time travel, but yeah, I thought it was overrated just because people were saying it was the best movie ever, and I hate it when people do that. Like, they see something they like, and they say it's the best thing ever. Like, it's like walking out of Rogue One saying Rogue One's the best movie ever. Rogue One is one of the best Star Wars movies, but it's not one of the best movies ever. It provided one of the best movie scenes ever, though, with Vader slicing up all the rebels. So that was cool. Yeah. Endgame was complete. Oh, Force Awakens was spoiled for me. Yeah, that sucked. That was not fun. But yeah. Force Awakens. I'm going back to this just because that's what the stream is about. What's up, Landon? I'm just, if Disney decides to go through with it, or if Lucas decides to make his own thing, I think you can keep the same characters, but dude, you got to trash 8 and 9's story. You just got to trash them. I understand there's a lot of people that liked them. but there are so many people who disliked both of them or one of them, and it just has divided the fan base, and it sucks to see all the hate that Star Wars is getting, but we just need something, I think. Or you just don't touch it, you leave it be, and you just keep on making great content like The Mandalorian. Like The Mandalorian is some of the best Star Wars stuff ever. The Clone Wars is some of the best Star Wars stuff ever, and it's not movies, it's TV shows. Like I'm rewatching the Clone Wars right now. I'm halfway through season 2. Seasons 1 and 2, I forgot how good they were. And they're not even the best of the show, and they're amazing television. Amazing Star Wars content. Cuz every episode, you don't know who's going to show up. You don't know if your favorite character is going to be in that episode, but even if they're not, we had an episode about freaking Padme and Jar Jar on Rhodia, and it was a good episode. Like I haven't gotten to this arc yet, but there's an arc about the droids and a general who's like freaking this tall, and it's one of the best arcs in the show. And if I told you R2D2 and like 6 other droids and a general who looks like it's like the size of my pinky or something, the size of my fist, and is the general of these guys, and it's a great story arc, you'd probably laugh at me. And it ends up being an amazing story arc. Obi-Wan Bounty Hunter. That's such a unique and random idea, and it's amazing. Bringing Darth Maul back. I mean, there's so many amazing things that you can do outside the movies that still relate to the timeline, but it works. It works. You can take some of these stories that aren't a part of the movies. You can use the same characters, different stories, put them in Star Wars universe in the timeline, and they work, which is the Clone Wars, which is the Mandalorian. By the way, next season, Mandalorian, they are bringing Ahsoka, potentially Rex, potentially Boba Fett, potentially Bo-Katan, which would make me happy. Ahsoka is one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. She is the definition of a pure Jedi. Rex is a freaking boss. Boba Fett is right now is one of the most overrated characters who I'd love to see get some more action because everyone loves him because he looks cool and stuff, but he never got any action scenes, which is very disappointing. I want to see him get some action scenes. Who else? Bo-Katan, live action Bo-Katan would be cool. Bo-Katan's great in the Clone Wars. Underrated character, underappreciated character. Anything with Mandalore. I just love the Mandalore arcs. Like I got through the first Mandalore arc today. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Back to very good movies and comments. I saw there were like 15 comments or 5. Endgame was we already went to that. Sorry, Stone Racing. I feel your pain. Lineup reveal coming up around 6:40. Is that 6:40 Eastern? Because I'm in Central Time. It's 4:22. Poll prediction: Joey Logano. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Go to my Twitter and vote if you want another title crawl. I have a really unique idea because we're going to Indianapolis and like Indiana. I'm going to do something different, but I'm still going to do it if you vote for it. Right now, the current vote is hold on, get into it. 7-1 or 6-1 in favor of the title crawl. So if you want it, go vote for it. Also, yes, go vote for Timmy Hill for the All-Star race. Giggles, what's happening, everyone? Michael, I don't know how to pronounce that here. I don't know what that means. Timmy Hill for the All-Star race. Yes, everyone go vote for I got to vote for Timmy today. I have not voted for Timmy today, so let's go do that. But yeah, Star Wars retcon. We'll talk about movies and stuff for another 10 minutes. Yeah. I would love to just talk about Star Wars every day. One of these days, I'll just randomly make a channel and not tell anyone about it and just talk about Star Wars a bunch. Yeah. I tell you what, The Last Jedi score was pretty good, though. Not the movie itself, no, but the score was good. Landon, how dare you betray me and not vote for Timmy Hill? Who's a Jimmy fan? Oh, guys. I might have some big time content on Sunday or Monday. When I say big time content, I mean like big time content. I don't want to spoil it. I could so badly tell you a preview, a hint of it, but I want you to be surprised as I was when I was told. So I will save you the favor and not tell you because it's a surprise, and it's a big surprise. Like usually when I say surprise, it's not a big deal, but this one's like actually a big deal. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 50 out of 10. Hold on, I'm voting for Timmy. Landon, you're probably going to pick Chase Elliott. Oh, shoot. I got to agree to the terms. Voted for Timmy Hill, boys. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's a big surprise. That actually is a big surprise. You're picking Harvick. I'll give you my pick tomorrow. But yeah. Talking about some Star Wars right now and some movies. It's a fun time. But you know what? If they decide to go with a remake, I'm fine with it. If they redo all three, okay. I'd prefer they redo the last two. Don't touch Solo and Rogue One, though. Rogue One is a beautiful movie that I love and will cry to every time. And Solo is just a unique, fun movie that got the reason Solo did so bad at the box office and reviews and stuff is because of all the hate from The Last Jedi rolling over into Solo. But yeah. 8 and 9 just need to be redone. They need to come up with a better plot. They need to develop characters like Finn better. If they do want to come up with a unique idea, you know what? Flip them. Flip Rey and Kylo. Have Kylo go good, go Rey go bad. Train Finn to be a Jedi. Have Rey and Kylo versus, Rey and Snoke versus Kylo and Finn. Have them duke it out. Have Anakin save the day because Anakin is the chosen one. Bring Hayden Christensen back for that. Apparently, Kenobi series, Hayden Christensen might be back as Darth Vader or Anakin. Like Anakin flashbacks Vader as like, I don't know. But that would be cool. That would be really cool. So, when's the Kenobi series coming out? I don't know. I made the worst prediction ever in the history of predictions, and I'm questioning what. Well, yeah, I'm all for bold predictions, but Christopher Bell for the championship, I predicted him to make the playoffs and win a race, which I thought was a little extreme, but the championship, yikes. That's a bold prediction. Let's see. What would be interesting is if Lucas gets his own sequels. And what if instead of Rey, we got Ahsoka? Wow, that'd be incredible. Let's see, back to my ratings. Chernobyl's a good movie or a TV mini series thing if you want that. I think I got what I wanted to get out. You know what? Yeah, I think I'm good for the day. We talked about the potential, the rumors about redoing the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I personally do not think it will happen as much as I would want the last two to be remade. I don't think it's going to happen. That's just too much of a pain for Disney, for Star Wars, and it would hurt the Star Wars name. It would offend too many people. And you know what? I would love it, but it's not going to happen. But if they did, I threw out my ideas. You can go back and watch my ideas. Flip-flop Rey and Kylo. Make Finn a Jedi. Give him more character development. Don't make Rose a thing. So frustrating. and have Anakin save the galaxy from the Force because you know what, he's the chosen one and deserves to be the chosen one. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. As for this week, my Pocono, no, Indianapolis preview tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon, and Friday. No, tomorrow's Friday. Saturday, there might not be a video. Sunday, potential live stream reaction to the race with Zach. Race recap, obviously. Assuming there's no rain. Hopefully there's no rain. And then potential big surprise video Sunday. And if that's not Sunday, then Monday. I'm so excited about that, guys. Like, if this ends up going well, I am going to like scream and cry and a lot of other stuff. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think that's going to be it for the day. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for leaving likes. If you are new to this channel, a new watcher, hit that subscribe button. And if you are a current viewer of this channel, like an old time viewer, whether you are Stone Racing, Landon, or someone new, as I said, I just saw another like get added. So whoever did that, thank you. Like the stream. Thank you for watching once again. It means a lot to me that you showed up to something I don't talk about much, to hear me vent and kind of mini rant about it, about what I want, even though I'm probably not going to get it. And I'll see you later. Subscribe if you're new, as I said. And I'm so repetitive at the end of these things because I don't know how to cut off, but share the channel too. Send it to your NASCAR fans, and heck, send it to your Star Wars fans. I'll talk about Star Wars every once in a while. But yeah, thanks for watching. All that stuff. Logging off.